here on the second episode of the Murphy Productions podcast. Today I have two special guests, Sue Allen and Johnny Allen. And I'm sure y'all, if you're fans of the channel, y'all know these two from the Johnny Allen Haunted Hayride, the most popular video on this channel. So I'm going to start off with asking Paul, that's Johnny Allen, about a little bit about the production of the Hayride. So give us a little bit about just what went into it, what came up with it, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it was primarily entertainment for the kids. I thought our granddaughter Skylar and her age group would really enjoy it, and we had all the elements to make it fun for them, and so that it just started. And then Kent, with a lot of his friends, made a big difference on it because they were the actors, and Sue didn't have anything to do except feed about 60 people. So she about 60 people. So she was busy cooking and cleaning.
Yeah, I had to clean up and get ready for it.
So what was like the main theming for? What was your role in the actual hayride itself? And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, got a lot of trails. Probably over a mile of trails, and they had to make sure that they were cleared out wide enough so that when I went through with the tractor, none of the kids would get hit with limbs or trees or anything. So I had help with that, but we had to do a lot of cleaning, and then converting a 20-foot utility trailer from hauling equipment to where it would be safe to haul about 30 kids, and so that worked out. We made it where they would be safe. Would be safe to haul them around, and then we had to make sure everything was running and working, and had to buy some props and had to build some props. So it was interesting.
Tell us what your endeavors with the props before the hayride were.
Well, we had problems here and there, and some of the people that were planning to be here to work couldn't show up.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of people come up on the day of the hayride to help us.
Oh my gosh, you were stressed out that day.
It was probably one of the most stressful days of my life.
You did a great job though, handling it. You put
we
it together.
We had it all planned out. And then the day of, just all sorts of chaos. Because none of us have really done anything like this before. And it was extremely chaotic.
If you had asked me Saturday morning, would we have put it all together, got it together? I just said no way. But you did. You did a great job.
We all had equal parts in this. I would call some people that's coming up, and they'd say, "Oh, well, I won't be able to make it." I was like, "Oh,
that's
great." It's not like we had the whole thing. And now I'm not trying to make bad on they had the reasons, and they will, from what I've been told by them, that they are ready for next year. I guess it's this year now, which we haven't decided if we're going to do another one. There's a lot of the community really seemed to like it. We've all been asked when the next one is.
I think if we are able to do another one, it'll be bigger than it was last year.
Hopefully, and hopefully a lot more help, because it seemed a lot of people enjoyed it, and a lot of people enjoy doing it. So, but yes, Paul, please tell the viewers, or the listeners, I guess this is a podcast, about what you did with the props beforehand to entertain yourself.
You know what he's talking about.
Which one? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a 7-foot animatron that was if you didn't know it was there, it would be kind of scary for somebody. And I stored it behind the door in the bathroom in the dark, so when Sue went in to use the facilities and turn the light on, she was greeted with a 7-foot animatron talking to her. And she kind of talked back. You could probably hear her talking to him for about a half a mile away.
And Johnny laughed, and he laughed, and he laughed. I come running down the hall screaming. Scared me really bad.
And then we had some Michael Myers outfit that happened to be left here, and you happened to walk in on him.
Yes. And then I walked into the bathroom one day, and there was a skeleton sitting on the toilet. Well, that scared me too. I'm easy to scare. They have fun with that.
So, can you give us a little bit about the making of the sets? Because there was some pretty... Now, granted, next year, assuming we do it, I'm not going to give you an exact, but we're definitely going to have better filming. No offense to our filmer. She got a little scared, not to toot her own horns, but...
She got scared. She ended up in the floor of the trailer with somebody on her. So, yeah, she did a good job.
She didn't get that great of shots, but we're gonna try to have better quality film. But regardless, you still could see some pretty good sets. So tell us a little bit about the ideas, the productions of those sets.
Well, we had a cabin in the woods, and we got some.
That was my idea.
The cabin in the woods, and it was. Actually, it was some big pieces of cardboard, and we painted them so in the dark with the lighting we used, it looked just like a small cabin in the woods.
Yeah, you put a little metal roof on it.
Built a metal roof and a
window
porch.
on the front of it.
And
it was neat. Out of cardboard.
We set it up where when we stopped the tractor, everything, we could set all the props to where everything would work and somebody could come from the other direction. And then we already had an old house on the property, and so we just left it like it was.
That's where Michael Myers' mother lived, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
along with Michael Myers.
But
yeah, Michael Myers showed up, didn't he?
I don't remember if it was in the documentary on the Haunted Hayride, but the suit. Our actor, Parker,
goodness.
I'm not going to use last names, but Parker, he...
It was 2 sizes too small.
Yeah, our other, which y'all know Hunter Phillips, I'll use his last name because he won't care. Yeah, I've seen him in our other movies and other stuff, content on this channel. That was his Michael Myers suit, and it was small on him. And Hunter is a smaller person. And Parker Atkins, it was too late now. Parker, he won't mind. Parker, he's a taller, larger person. So the suit was really tight. As soon as he put it on, like I'm not trying to be, he's a strong built person.
When he sat down on the couch, he couldn't
get up.
Sit up.
But
tight. Yeah, we all got a big kick out of that.
I think my favorite part about the entire hayride itself was, which I was thinking it would be the actual scaring part, but the best part was definitely beforehand when we had everybody in costume, getting everybody cleaned up. I guess cleaned up, dirtied up. But it was really fun.
Yeah, I think all your friends really enjoyed it. I don't think they knew they were going to have as much fun.
What was y'all's favorite parts, Mama?
My favorite part?
Miss Sue, yes.
Well, my favorite part of the hayride, which I only saw on the video, was the grand finale.
Oh, yes.
That was really good, and y'all all started singing. Mm-hmm. I really liked that part.
That would be David, Big D's.
Did y'all have that planned ahead of time? Or
no, not really. Big D was just like, hey, let's just all sing to them when they're leaving.
That was that.
So it was like,
and then all the kids in the trailer started singing with y'all.
I think it was a very poetic,
nice
little ending.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, Paul, what was your favorite part about the whole Hayride day.
All the
When it was
screaming.
over and I could go to bed.
I think that was everybody's truly favorite part. Everybody, we was all, cause the main little group, which was AJ, which I don't think he's been in any of the content beforehand. You've seen him, of course, in the Hayride video, but he does have a little short film that's in production. That's a little tease.
Yeah.
But so AJ, me, of course, Hunter, Paul, Mama, that was our main little group. Was there anybody else? I don't think anybody else was in our main little what started it all. We all had a little tight knit group that kind of was always working
Hunter?
on it. Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
said Hunter.
And T-Wop helped clear the
Oh yeah,
trails.
old T-Wop. You've not seen him in anything. He does not really. He doesn't want really nothing to do with this channel, but it's okay. But he did help as well. But we did kind of have like a little tight knit group that helped. That pretty much brains the whole operation. That they were there from the few. When did we decide?
Y'all decided
I
one
think it was in
Sunday
August.
afternoon.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Y'all were out here
AJ, or was
eating.
it Wednesday? I think it would have been a Wednesday. I think it was a Wednesday because
been.
it would have been us
Yeah.
coming from school
Yeah.
about to go to, or no, them coming over before going to Wednesday night church. I think either Wednesday or regardless, it was me, AJ, Hunter, and was T-Wop there?
Yeah.
I think T-Wop was there, and we was all over here, and we just was like, well, I was talking about how it'd be cool to have a little haunted hayride out here, and
Everybody got excited.
we was like, well, why? We was just not talking serious about it, but then we was like, well, why not? Why?
Yeah.
I mean, why? What would be preventing us from doing it? I mean, we got a tractor. I'm sure we can
Cleaning up
find a
our
trailer.
shop.
We got the
Oh,
trails.
my goodness.
We got the want to. And so it was like, all right, we'll work on it a little bit. And then one thing led to another. We drove all throughout the trails, planning it out. And then we just kind of dedicated to doing it. And we got there.
I really didn't think we could pull it off.
I did not think we could pull it
I did
off at
not,
all.
but
I
he
had
pulled
no
it all
confidence.
together. He got everybody in their place and what they were supposed to do, and he pulled it all together in the last few hours before we did the hayride.
It was rough. The
We were all
last
worried
hour.
about Kent. He was running around like, y'all help.
The most enjoyable part, I guess, was those 11, 12-year-old kids screaming, and then in between from one set or one setup to the next, they laughed and laughed and laughed, and then they'd all be screaming again. Then they laughed and laughed and laughed. So they enjoyed it.
But you could ask them if they got scared. And
Oh,
they said,
no.
no.
But the
They
next one,
This
the
coming year.
next ride, the hayride,
That'll be the title of the next ride.
we'll probably open up a lot more trails. So it'll be a lot longer, even though it's an hour going through there. We're probably gonna open up some more of them that are just overgrown, but make it a
Longer experience.
longer people. They have to have a lot more people to do a lot more scary.
And so it wasn't really obvious with this one, but there was a general theme. I hate that we could not get, Paul did a little monologue or a little introduction part of the hayride right before it started. And it consisted of, if you know in the scene where there's the fire truck, I was in that little scene. That the story of it was that it wasn't supposed to be a haunted hayride. It was just supposed to be a regular hayride. But the route that they were gonna take, something was going on. They had sent out the fire department to go check out some crazy anomalies or something like that. And when they got there, something was wrong with the fire truck, obviously, and they was fighting off monsters and
David told that story real good, didn't he?
something like that.
He was so funny.
But next year and the theme was that the Sawyers from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We was having to go through their land, but we're gonna try to make there's gonna be a new theme next year, so it's not the same, or well, this year. I keep saying that. Well, if I say next year, if we say next year, it means this coming year. But we're gonna try to make it something new. It's not gonna be the same thing over and over again. So, what's some other things we could talk about? The makeup. You had a hand in the makeup.
No, I did not.
Oh wait, that's
Cagney
right.
did.
My
Cagney and
mother.
Jessica did the makeup, and I just thought all of it was really a lot of fun and funny watching the kids get all made up, especially Zach Nelson.
Yes, let's talk about that. So we had at the very beginning of the hayride, there was we had Hunter Phillips' dad, who's a very big and he's really tall and he would very intimidating figure. He was going to be in the butcher shop at the very beginning of the hayride, but he was on call and had to leave. So my dad happened to walk down here. I don't even remember why he came. Why did he come down here?
I don't know.
He just showed up, and I was like, "You're hired. We need somebody else." And so I was like, "Get him in makeup," and he got all made up.
And I like the part where you maybe ask him or somebody asked him about his part. When did he decide to do it?
He's like, "I was forced to be here."
I didn't want to be, but he did a good job in his part. It was fun.
And this time now of course there was adults on there, but that was for supervision. It seems that there was a lot of adults that were not too happy about not being able to ride. It's not like we didn't. It's not like we was like, y'all can't get on here. But it sounds like there's a lot of an adult audience that would like to go.
Yes.
So either we haven't of course this is all haven't been decided yet, but we may end up having multiple go-arounds in the upcoming hayride. Let's talk a little bit about the makeup. There was a few inspirations for the makeup. Of course, we had Michael Myers, we had Ghostface, but most of it was just we tried to be hillbillies. We was the Sawyer family, a bunch of redneck hillbillies that had been out and away from the rest of society for years.
Yeah, and
And-
Billy Bob was down there in the hood of the car, and the hoodie
Yes.
fell on Billy Bob.
Billy Bob is our homemade dummy.
Stuffed man.
Our homemade dummy that's stuck in the truck, which I do believe he's still out there, is he not? He may still be out there stuck up under the hood.
We might better go get Billy Bob. We might need him next time.
Maybe.
He's been recycled.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Rest in peace, Billy Bob.
Did you really recycle him?
I removed him, yeah.
You removed him stuff in too?
Yeah.
Let's see. So, tell us a little bit about, because of course, this is more of something for me. I wasn't there, of course, because we had like a little party area, like a little lobby, I guess, before the hayride while we still getting it set up. There was food, had Halloween music, all that kind of stuff. So give us a little bit about that. Just explain what was going on in there while we was off getting everything set up.
Well, it was real busy. It really was, because I was trying to keep some food in here for y'all to eat. And we trying to get the food and stuff set up in the other room. And of course I had some help. I had some other ones helping me. Daphne cooked a lot of the food. I cooked a lot of food. We had plenty. We had lots and lots of food left. But everybody was just all over the house, everywhere. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
I think
It was a lot of work.
the hardest part was keeping the kids away from us.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I didn't want to end up, because
They
what
wrote
was
it the
scary
other
is
way.
we had a lot of makeup on it. I don't know if you could definitely see it in the documentary. You could definitely see in there that we had a lot of makeup
It
on.
was really funny once they got through with the character and got them made up. I mean, they were really funny.
And I'm pretty sure I was allergic to whatever kind of makeup because my skin was on fire. I think AJ also had that same problem. So we weren't exactly in the most comfortable positions, but it was all, you can tell we was pretty dedicated to the hayride. But what was been scary for them is not knowing who they are. That was kind of the problem why some of them didn't get scared in certain spots, because they could obviously recognize. So we're going to try to work on that this year, maybe less in your face, or at least not less in your face with not a lot of makeup, because my makeup job was pretty caked up. I had white paint all over my face, had blood going down my mouth.
It looked good.
It was inspired by Doomhead from the movie 31, which we're not really associated with that movie. But anyway.
Taffy and Jessica did a good job on the makeup and the clothes.
Let me see. I'll make sure my phone ain't gonna die, because that would really suck if it died mid live stream. Okay, so what's some other things? How about, let's talk about the trailer and the tractor, like how that was driving through all that, Paul. Oh wait, no. Before that, can we talk about the cemetery? The cemetery was probably the best piece in the whole Hayride.
It was neat.
So let's talk about that.
I had some wrought iron fence from an actual cemetery, and I had it stored out here. It was a real fancy old wrought iron fence, and so that's kind of what brought the cemetery about. We could put the fence up, and we made a lot of tombstones that looked like the old.
And a big
old
entrance.
students.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a big
had a-
entrance on front of it.
Yeah, and it was so far away from, and it was, the hayride happened to be on the darkest night of the month, of the moon cycle. There was no moon whatsoever. So in order for them to even see the cemetery, we had to put up, we put a generator several hundred feet away from it and ran a lot of cords to it and put spotlights on it, and so that you could actually see the cemetery. So, and then we had an old 1950 something model farm tractor that was. We set it up with a chain like it was pulling the fence down so that everybody could escape, and it was driven by a skeleton.
Moved.
Yeah, we had it semi-animated by some.
Who was it that moved the? We had tell them how you rigged up the skeleton to be able to move.
That was tied. Moved.
I think it was tied. It was tied.
Well, the joints were movable in it, so we made it like a marionette or a Muppet or something like that. Instead of had some little thin metal rods that were attached to the hands and to the head, so that somebody could get behind the tractor and rotate his head, so the skeleton
He
would
waved
look.
at you when you went by.
Yeah, we had a cowboy hat on him so they could see it more easily visible for his head turning and his arm.
Wasn't that where y'all were gonna set off the fireworks?
We were gonna have fireworks, but they did not work. We weren't, of course, gonna shoot it at. It was firecrackers. We had there were firecrackers that came in a line of fuse, and you'd light it, throw it inside like a machine gun. But
That didn't work.
for whatever reason, it didn't go off. We was gonna put it in a bucket and let it sound real loud, but it didn't work. But that's okay. With how it turned out, we are fine. Not everything went according to plan, but
Oh, I know something that was funny that happened on the video was Pep Pep.
yes,
Pep
our
Pep's the dog.
my lovely dog Pip Pip, which you will see in our upcoming Lurker movie, which I said in the last episode, which I kind of regret, but it makes us have to work a little extra hard, but it's okay. Where I told you it would be out by the end of this year, which it will be. She was in that movie. She's going to be in that movie playing Pip Pip.
She would go in front of the tractor
and go
Scope
straight
out
to
the
our
people
hidden
that were
actors
hiding in
so
the
that you
woods.
could see where they're about to come out. But it's okay. And I was one of them. and I was hiding behind a tree, and she just right in front of the tractor just came up there and was sniffing on me, loving on me.
That was pretty neat. That was not planned.
That was not. She went the whole. How many miles would that be?
It's probably a mile or more.
About a mile or two.
Yeah.
Walked it all, greeting
Yeah,
everybody as
yeah.
she was going by. But
And I think the kids in the trailer or the tractor trailer was watching her. They had already figured out that she was scoping y'all out.
okay, so how? Let's go kind of scene through scene. We've done a few. We've already talked about a few of the scenes, and we'll kind of break it down, like how it was made, what came up with it. So we'll start off with the butcher shop, whistle stop butcher shop. So tell us how it was physically built, what it was, like all that kind of stuff.
Well, we already had a shelter there for the tractor and lawnmowers and such, and so we just made a table, set a table up right there, and with a light, just light enough that you could see what was going on, not real bright. And then we put a dog kennel at one end of it to use. It was like a pen to keep the next victims in, which there were several of them in there trying to get out of the.
It wasn't actually locked. We, of course, weren't gonna just actually lock it. Just putting that out there. Go ahead.
So the kids could see the people trying to get out of the pen, and the butcher doing his job on the table, chopping stuff. And
Oh, he's chopping people.
Which the little dummy that he had used. So while we was going through it, I would go to each station, make sure everybody knew what they were supposed to do, where they were supposed to go, because of course we had maybe 10 scare actors, I think, 10, 12,
Yeah.
probably somewhere around there.
About 12.
I'd say about 12, 13. Well, we of course, because of how long it was, couldn't do everybody just have one station, so people would have to go to this station, that station, whatever. So I'd go through, and I'd come back, and Daddy was the one that played the butcher. He had made that dummy by himself. He was just made it out of some clothes that was laying out
He
there.
acted like he didn't want to do it, but he did.
I think he
had
enjoyed
fun.
it. But anyway, go ahead.
but that was the shed was already there. We just made it where we could make it look like it was a dimly lit butcher shop that was not legal.
It was. What about the name? Whistle Stop Butcher Shop. Give us
That goes back to the movie.
Still make movies.
No,
Fried green tomatoes.
Fried green
Fried green tomatoes. Whistle Stop, because they were
Yeah.
cannibalized in the movie.
We had a few references to some stuff. Then right after that, the fire truck, which I think was the most interesting out of all of them. Which in the video, you could see that the lights were on. So tell us about how old that fire truck is and all that.
It's a 1969 Honda custom fire truck that we used at the fire department for years. And I just put a new battery in it. That way we could use all the lights, the siren, anything on it would work with the new battery in it. And we just used it for a prop along with several of the actors using the actual firefighting bunker suits and the actual gear from the fire department. So it was realistic, and we had it where they could.
It was hot too.
Yeah,
Really hot.
yeah, it's still warm. So we had it where we could pull the trailer right up there, 20 or 30 feet away from the fire truck, and it looked realistic with all the lights on and as dark a night as it was. So it was.
And they were telling y'all to go back,
Yeah,
go back,
yeah, not to go
don't go any further.
But y'all didn't listen.
No.
So y'all had to get scared by all the other creatures that worked in the Sawyer
Kept
family.
going.
Okay, so after that, then we've already talked about the cemetery, so we'll go by that. What happens after? Oh yes, the police stop over here.
Yes.
There happened to be. You tell them about that.
All right, but now they had, Red Dog was chasing Cameron
Oh, yes.
before we got to the cemetery.
That's right.
He was chasing him with a knife.
This was all done safely. We didn't endanger anybody.
Yeah, there wasn't but 2 or 3 casualties is all. uh, then we left the cemetery, and then we had one coming out of the woods over there that followed the trailer using a little LED light that they could turn on and off so that everybody's attention was behind the trailer in the dark. They could see something, and it got closer and closer, and it alternate the light to where when the light came on, it was closer each time. And so I was on the tractor, but I could still hear them say, "There's somebody behind us, there's somebody behind us." And as they were concentrating on the people behind us, we had people hiding in the bushes too, coming up from another direction. And then we had an old Crown Victoria with some flashing lights on the top of it. And that was
That was one Billy Bob.
that
had.
was behind Billy
Who
Bob.
on
That was
Billy
Oh,
Bob?
Billy Bob.
that was the police car checking on Billy Bob's body after he was
Well,
he
on
did
the truck.
Loaded.
And,
yeah. So, and then as they were looking at the
police stop.
checking out the lights flashing, their attention was to one side, then somebody came out of the woods on the other side. So we tried to keep it where they didn't know where everything was coming from. We tried to keep them popping out everywhere. And it was a lot of work because they were moving from the scarers were moving from one scene to the next, so they had to keep busy, keeping it running from one place to the other, stay ahead of the caravan.
Oh, and tell them about the little fake out right before we get to the second part of the where they come up right here and you made them think that they was that the ride was over. But
Yeah, that was after the first leg of it was. We had several scenes there, and then in order to go to the next area, we had to go back up by the house here, and then back in the driveway. So it was,
which is where it started.
so we were driving right back up to where it started from, and a lot of them thought that was it probably, but that was just the beginning. So we went on out our gravel road to the big woods where we had a lot of stuff set
Oh,
up over
Michael
there.
Myers' mama lived.
Yeah, that was where one of my stations was. Now, okay, the way that we kind of broke it down, there were stations, and then I called them free areas, where once you were done with your station, I would give my scare actors like from this tree to that tree, you can jump out, do whatever you want, and then just as long as you're back, because at the end, at the grand finale, everybody met up back there. And I was like, it's just as long as you're back here before the tractor gets here, that's fine. So my little free area was right after the Myers house. And when we was standing there waiting on the tractor, keep in mind, there's no light because we did not want them to see anything. And Atkins was messing with us. He was Michael Myers, and he was out somewhere in the yard, and he'd keep moving, and you couldn't hear him, but you could hear him talking. You couldn't hear him walking around, but you could hear him talking, and he was sitting there messing with us, and it was pretty creepy having Michael Myers, because Parker Atkins is taller than me, so just knowing that out there was this tall Michael Myers guy walking around. And then once the tractor, the way it was, there's this long road where they turned on and we could see the lights, and it was so creepy looking because only light there was the 2 lights from the front of the tractor just going through the trees.
That was pretty neat.
It was very cool looking, but also very.
I think if you
creepy.
asked when you asked the kids what was the scariest part, they all said the chainsaw.
Oh yes,
The
we
chainsaw.
had to have a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Had to have a chainsaw. We had to have. He played Leatherface or Bubba, so we of course if we was gonna do the Sawyer family, had to have the main character of them. So we had old Mr. Justin play Bubba. Now there was a little bit of a malfunction at that scene. The thing was that Big D, he played, I don't remember what I named him, or what he was named. He was the hillbilly guy, and he was yelling for Bubba to, as soon as he says, starts yelling for Bubba, Mr. Justin was supposed to come on from the other side with the chainsaw, but he never did. So the Big D just kept sitting there yelling Bubba.
And then went and rang the bell.
Thank God we decided that having a bell out there would be a good idea.
He might not
So he
could have
started-
heard him because of all the kids screaming.
Mhm. And we also had a werewolf, his pet werewolf Cupcake out there. And so he started ringing the bell, and here finally Mr. Justin comes out of the woods with a chainsaw. And it was scary too for the scare actors, because all we could hear was kids screaming and a chainsaw. But yes.
In pitch black dark woods. It's almost scary for y'all, wasn't it?
It was, and we had walkie-talkies, and they were high quality ones. They're hunters, and like I said, you can't have light out there, or they'll see you running through the woods. And after I done my little free area part, I was running to the ending. Well, I had another station that was with the spider. We'll get to that in a second. Well, there was a tree that had fallen over, and I ran right into it and just flew. Thank God I didn't hit a tree.
I was
with my
worried
head.
about that.
Yes.
Y'all being in the woods
And
running.
I had the walkie-talkie in one hand, an axe in the other. The walkie-talkie just gone. And it's a black walkie-talkie, and it just gone.
Find it?
I did. I was just sitting there, crawling through the woods, swinging my arms around on the ground until I found it.
Are you
But-
the only one that run into something?
As far as I know. Of course,
I
it would be
worried.
me.
I worried about that.
I think AJ may have ran into some briars, but
Yeah.
by far, I think we can all agree that AJ's costume was the best.
Yeah.
He looked like a rejected Kiss member or band member, whatever. But go ahead and talk to us a little bit about was Paul's idea, the spider web, the giant Alabamian spider, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we had the spider webs. I think it was 100 and
You
I
good?
think we make it 160 square feet when you spread them all out. It was a real big spider web. We put it up in some big trees and
That was my personal favorite thing to set up. Go ahead.
put it between several trees, and it was then we took a skeleton and mounted it on the tree with this basically inside the spider web, and then somebody was on the other side, and we put strobe lights and that kind of stuff out on some of those scenes where because it's pitch black, that way they could see when something was happening. And so they're supposed to, while they look at the spider web, somebody on the other side, we've got a really long pole with a very large spider that we lowered down out of the sky while they were into the trailer, while they were looking at the giant spider web with the skeleton.
And tried to drop it on Kent's mother.
That was the plan. My mother is
She's scared to
deathly
death of
afraid of spiders.
I just couldn't set the part to stop the trailer in the exact spot, so it just had to be where it was.
Well, that was partly my fault because I was the one that was controlling the spider, and I dropped it. They looked, for whatever reason, they looked up and saw the spider, and because I was trying to lower it down, because I figured Paul wouldn't be able to park it in the exact right spot, like he said. So I was going to try to let it kind of come back and like right in her face. But they had seen it beforehand, so I just was like, okay, just let it go, let it fall on them. Then they started to grab the spider, and then they saw me in the woods just sitting there, and it was kind of botched, but it all worked out in the end. Then after that, tell us about our good buddy, the animatronic,
The one that
whatever you
scares
want to call that
Mama
thing.
with, yes.
Yeah, he was over there on the trail. There was not another scene for a long way, so we just had him kind of in the edge of the woods, so we'd go by. The motion of the tractor would set him off.
Did it set it off?
Mhm. Yeah, it was.
He was really creepy.
He's really easy to set off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was motion. You said he was motion censored, wasn't he? He was motion and sound, wasn't it?
Yeah, and back on that side of the property, there's the property that joins us is 1,100 acres of nothing but trees behind there. So there's no light, there's not much sound, and it's just like you're in the middle of nowhere, because there's nothing over there, nothing but trees for hundreds and hundreds of acres back there.
Well, when Johnny scared me with him, I went in the bathroom and he was behind the door, and all I done was flip the light on, and I think that set him off. And he started carrying on behind the door,
He talks.
and I come screaming out of the bathroom, and of course Johnny meets me in the hall because he knows what's fixing to happen, and he's really enjoying it. It scared me really, really bad.
After that, I think we had a little bit more of the free areas, just some people jumping out. Then, of course, the very ending, which I loved. It was so good.
You gonna have to sing the song?
I'm not singing. What did we sing? It was something about Backstreet Boys. It was I
don't know,
wanna
David
get that away. That song. So this is the big finale. This was it was very
Can y'all crank the
choreographed.
saw up again?
Oh yeah, we had 2 chainsaws at this point, I
Okay.
think. So it's very I was like, look, we gotta have a good ending. That no matter what, it gotta be a good ending. So I'll break it down. So what happens was I don't remember. Did you say anything before the tractor breaks down or something? Well, the idea was that they was on their what there's okay. That was it. Whatever. Well, then the tractor breaks down, and they was like, we can't get the tractor back on. Whatever. All of the lights. There's nothing. No lights on. It's just pure
Did
darkness.
you cut the lights off on the tractor?
He turns the tractor off and everything. Acts like the tractor.
And they know something fixing to happen.
And every single scare actor, so about 13 people out there, are all in the woods, and we're shaking leaves and stomping. And then we had some sort of signal, and I think it was Mr. Justin cranking up the chainsaw. And as soon as he cranks up the chainsaw, everybody bum rushes the trailer. We're jumping on the trailer, screaming at the kids in the face. I mean, it was really fun.
And then they start singing.
And then, of course, we start singing.
And all the kids in the trailer join in. It was really neat. It's just like they had planned it, but it wasn't planned. I mean, the kids in the trailer wasn't planned to sing.
All we had just, Big D he said, he's like, yeah, let's just sing to him when we get done. I was like, oh, okay. So we did.
That was great. That was perfect.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
It brought us all, it was really community like, what's the word? It brought all of us together. It was very, I don't want to say family like. It was like we was a big old scary cannibalistic hillbilly family.
Yeah. Everybody really had a good time. I think the older kids didn't know how much they were going to enjoy it.
Oh yes, it was like being in a movie. Like it was really cool.
And I really think if we do another one, I think there'll be more of the older kids that'll want to be part of it.
Hey, even adults. I've found some other people
Yeah.
that have contacted me that want to do it.
I love Mr. David. And when he
Big
tells
D's, of
about
course,
it, he said it was good.
Okay, we're at about 44 minutes, so I think we'll wrap it up. thank y'all for allowing me to interview y'all. Thank y'all for talking about it. Is there anything y'all would like to say to our audience before we go?
Maybe we'll do it again this year.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Hey, the more support y'all can show, the more likely we will be able to do it.
That's right.
So, I think well, I don't know. We might live stream it or not. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But thank y'all for watching. Tune in next week. I'm not really sure what the next episode's going to be. Of course, they won't be in the next one. But next week, I'm not sure what I'll be talking about. We got a phone call. All right. Well, thank y'all. Tune in next week for the next episode.